back on May 18th, the official Hogwarts Legacy YouTube account dropped a brand new video out of nowhere, by the way, totally unexpected. Perhaps even more unexpected, though, it was a 20-minute ASMR video. That's right, ASMR, showing off 8 different scenes and plenty of intricate little details they knew that we fans would be searching for. Now, there's all sorts of little details hidden in this video. We're going to talk about some of them today, but there's also one very big thing that I think this whole entire video proves. And in addition to the one big thing I think this video proves, there are also some hints to possible gameplay mechanics that we're going to see in Hogwarts Legacy as well. And to me, those are the most exciting. You know, we went so long without getting any information on this game. And since the big reveal at the Sony State of Play, where they showed more than 14 minutes of gameplay footage, we've gotten a steady stream of information. Not a lot, but a slow and steady stream of information with new stuff hitting each week. Now, at the time of me recording this video, we actually just got the information about the official game guide that's going to be published by Scholastic. Personally, I'm not much of a game guides guy myself. I kind of like to explore and figure out things on my own, but the Amazon page for it is live. If you want to pre-order, I'll put a link down in the description below. It looks like it's going to be around 176 pages. Listed publication date of December 31st, 2022. And as I've told several people already relating to other things on Amazon, don't put any stock in that December 31st date. That is strictly a placeholder date. Highly unlikely that the game or this guide will even release on that day. Now, it also says that an official cover is coming soon. We don't have that yet, but rest assured, once we do, we'll have a video up about that as well, unless it's just the game box art, and in that case, it probably wouldn't be that big of a deal. Then again, I don't think we even know the official box art yet. We have a pretty good idea of what we've seen on Amazon and Best Buy and places like that, but I don't know that they've officially said, yes, this is the box art. But we'll find out hopefully soon enough. As for this ASMR video, though, the one thing that it really proves to me, and it's something I've talked about time and time again, but it's the fact that Avalanche is really understanding their audience here. They really understand this world. They really understand what we as fans are looking for, and the fact that they gave us a 20-minute, now it's only 8 scenes, but a 20-minute video just allowing us to kind of be and exist in that world, to chill out for a bit, to me, really shows that they understand what we want out of this game. Now, this is not saying the game is going to be great, amazing, or epic, or anything like that, but it is saying that the folks at Avalanche clearly understand what they're dealing with here. All right, so now let's get into some of those little details throughout the video. If you haven't seen it yet, I'd be surprised if you haven't, but if you haven't, it's called Hogwarts Legacy, a rainy spring night ASMR 4K video, and there's going to be 8 different scenes that you can watch, and it's raining throughout, so there's no music. It's all sounds of nature, the sounds of rain, sounds of lightning. You get some bug sounds. No music, just a sort of natural ambience of the world around you. Again, a rainy spring night. So the fact that they specifically call it a spring night, I think also speaks to the fact that seasons are going to be in this game. We had that confirmed in that 14+ minute gameplay reveal that we already talked about. But now this begs the question, are we going to get more, right? I mean, we're in the heat of summer right now. Perhaps they'll give us a summer one and then maybe a winter one as well. Leading up to the release of the game remains to be seen. So this first little shot that we have right here, you can see Hogwarts Castle. This is an area that we are definitely familiar with. We've seen this in the trailer. You also have the owlery over here on the right side, and then kind of just below it here, you have the gamekeeper's hut. And as this scene slowly pans to the left, you'll eventually be able to make out the fountain on the left side over here as well. And the fountain includes some nice little details like the heads of the Hogwarts mascot. Pretty sure this is a boar right here. And then you have a snake over here, so I'm assuming on the other side we're going to have a lion and a badger and an eagle as well. Now, shifting into the next scene here, we have another shot just outside of Hogwarts. And I'm not sure of the specific area of this. If you guys know, let me know in the comments below. I'm just going to call it a courtyard with a beast statue, and pretty sure this is an Occamy statue right here. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that right. It's Occamy. And we know about these creatures from Fantastic Beasts. They have a serpentine appearance, and they also have the ability to grow or shrink to fit the available space around them. So in virtually everything we have seen so far about this game, guys, the level of detail, the intricate little nods to the series that they are including throughout this whole entire world, it seems, but in this case, the castle, the outside of the castle, is just incredible. Like I was saying, there's a lot of stuff in this video, but the biggest thing I take away is just how much Avalanche truly gets the property that they're working with here. It's exciting to see. All right, now we're going to shift gears a little bit to another area of Hogwarts here, and from this shot, we can see the herbology greenhouse just here on the left side. Also have some flowers here in kind of the front area. Other than that, though, not a lot going on in this scene here. Now, the next one has what I think is one of the most interesting pieces in any of these scenes that we see, and it is this gold plate right here with a symbol that we have seen in a number of different locations. I think most fans are kind of referring to this as a phase of the moon symbol. I know one spot just off the top of my head where we see a symbol like this is in the Great Hall on that stained glass window just behind the teachers. When we get that first shot of zooming into Hogwarts, we see a symbol that looks very similar to this. Now, in this next scene, we get a shot of Hogsmeade. So we move away from Hogwarts Castle, we get a shot of Hogsmeade, and this one has probably the most information by far. There's a lot going on in this scene. Also, a watering can that is watering flowers in the rain, which I found pretty funny. As hilarious as it seems to be that they are getting watered in the rain, I do love that they just keep showing off these little details of magic kind of showing itself within the world. That's not like active magic. I remember this was a big deal with the second Harry Potter movie, Chamber of Secrets, when they showed the burrow for the first time. They talked about how they really wanted it to feel alive. Remember, you have in the kitchen Mrs. Weasley's dishes, they're kind of just cleaning themselves with a little magical charm when Harry arrives at the burrow, so he's kind of taking it all in. Same thing in Prisoner of Azkaban. They made sure to have a nod to just this magical world that's going on around them, even without what I would call like active magic. And that's what we see here. We saw it in the big trailer as well. So over on the right, we get yet another Quidditch hint. Quality Quidditch supplies. Very clearly, that is what we have here. Still do not have Quidditch confirmed as being in the game, although we have seen so many hints. And I think we can pretty safely say, even if we don't play Quidditch, Quidditch is still going to be part of this world. And I can already hear some of you saying, well, really? If they're going to do that, how can they not let us play Quidditch? I don't know. I think that remains to be seen. We'll just have to keep an eye out for that and see if we get official word as to whether or not Quidditch is actually playable. And then we shift over here to the middle where we have the three broomsticks, the iconic pub and inn that is featured throughout the series. You can actually eat there at Universal Studios Florida. It's amazing. It's incredible. Yes, they have butterbeer. So clearly this is an iconic spot that they absolutely had to have in the game. So it's nice to see it here. I think it looks great. Now, there's been a lot of talk about Ollivanders. Anytime I bring up Ollivanders, people say, of course, Diagon Alley's in the game. It's got Ollivanders. Well, this is the Hogsmeade branch of Ollivanders, and you can see the OL right here on the side of this building here. So this is the Ollivanders location that we have seen in the trailer. We have not seen any sign of Diagon Alley in any trailer other than Gringotts. But given some of the little hints and details that we saw in that big trailer, it's very possible that we could travel to Gringotts another way, maybe through one of those portals that the main character and Professor Fig seem to be opening. Then as we keep moving left, we also have the sign pointing out Zonkos, as well as a sign here on the left, no doubt leading to the Hog's Head. Now, I want to know what you guys think this spot is right here. I have some guesses, but I'm curious to see what you all think. I'm going to zoom in here to give you an even better view. We can't quite make it out. And before we leave the scene, we have to go over to one of the gameplay element hints that I teased in the opening of the video. And that is if you look over here at the right, on the door for quality Quidditch supplies, we have what looks to be a padlock of some sort. Now, a padlock alone wouldn't be that big of a deal, right? I mean, clearly it's evening. Clearly the shops are closed. They've locked up for the night. No big deal. However, there are a couple of times in this scene as the ASMR video continues to play. In fact, if you want to see one exactly, you can stop it right around 10:39. Now, this is on the official Hogwarts Legacy video. If you stop it at 10:39, I'll show you right here in this video as well what happens. But you'll see this little kind of bluish purple gleam that goes across the lock. And to me, this clearly is indicating something that the player can interact with. Most likely a location where we can use Alohomora to unlock. So not only does it give us a gameplay hint in terms of being able to use Alohomora to unlock things, it also leads me to believe that perhaps we'll even be able to sneak around at night, go into Hogsmeade when all the shops are closed, and perhaps even sneak into various shops. Is it just quality Quidditch supplies, or will we be able to sneak into Hogsmeade as well? Will you be able to sneak into any shop? Because that would be absolutely insane if you could sneak into any shop. Or perhaps there's a very specific mission where we have to get into quality Quidditch supplies, and this lock that we see here is what we have to unlock using Alohomora. But more on that shimmering light in just a moment. Because when we shift over to the next scene here, you'll see Madame Puttyfoot's tea shop right here on the left side. So again, we're still in Hogsmeade, the tea shop featured prominently here. Then if you look straight back here, you'll see a shop with the initials GR. Almost certainly this is Gladrags, where you can get various wizard clothing. And then you can't see it at the start of this scene, but as it sort of pans over to the right throughout, you'll eventually be able to make out the Hogsmeade post office, which is just behind the tea shop. Also, there's a moment in this scene where you can see an owl just fly right over, and while while not as overt as the lock on the door, I also think this hints to some possible gameplay mechanics. Now, this one, it could just be entirely possible that it's part of the living, breathing world. We're going to see owls flying around and carrying letters, but book readers will know it was a really big deal in Prisoner of Azkaban and then Goblet of Fire, this idea of letters possibly being intercepted, especially when Harry's trying to stay in touch with Sirius. And then if you got the Ministry involved, we know there's a potential Goblin Rebellion right now, so it's very possible that we could be seeing some of these letters getting intercepted by either Ministry officials, or again, maybe it even ties into one of our missions. Maybe we have to make sure that one of our letters doesn't get intercepted. Or if you're going to be on that dark side, maybe you are doing the intercepting. Maybe you actually have to intercept the letter. All of these are interesting possibilities. And before we go, we can't forget about Hengist of Woodcroft over here on the right side, the founder of Hogsmeade Village. And then yet another hint at possible gameplay with this barrel right here. We can see sort of a little white glow, a little white shimmer, similar to the one we saw with the lock earlier. However, this one is on the barrel. And honestly, I would probably say we could even go ahead and outright confirm that this will be an interactable object like we see in the trailer, with our character actually using barrels in battle. Now, shifting over to the next scene here, I said we'd talk more about that little blue glimmer, and I think we see another little blue light here in this scene, although this one is much harder to make out. I'll show it to you here if you want to watch on the official Hogwarts Legacy video. It's around 1539, and then another one around 1551, but it's the moment right there. And you can see this one seems a little bit lower to the ground, but then again, you kind of got an odd perspective here because that building is pretty far off, so it very well could be a lock, or it's possibly just another interactable item. We don't really know. The biggest standout piece of this area right here, though, is of course the Hog's Head. Over here on the left, an inn and pub that of course featured very prominently in the Harry Potter series. And then for the very last section, we get an outdoor scene with a couple of little interesting tidbits here. First of all, I'm pretty intrigued by the fact that we have a graveyard here. We also have an old house up here on the left, and then a building here, I guess you could say a sign, most likely a building just behind it, called the Magic Neep, which is a magical greengrocer shop. Now, if you look at the Harry Potter wiki, it says this is located in Hogsmeade, so I assume this is very close to Hogsmeade here, and perhaps we're just looking at it from kind of a different perspective. Maybe directly behind the camera here, so sort of behind our first-person perspective. Perhaps that's the direction of Hogsmeade itself. And the other big one that stands out to me here is this over here on the right. I mean, is this a cage? For those of you who have followed the channel for a while, you know I've had a theory for quite some time that magical creatures and their overall treatment within the wizarding world is going to feature prominently in this game. Goblin rights are going to feature prominently in this game, at least in my opinion. So perhaps this is some sort of enclosure that someone is going to use at some point in this game involving the magical creatures. I don't know if they're trying to help them and get them out, get them safe, or if they're trying to capture them for their own purposes. That remains to be seen. Now, speaking of the Hogwarts Legacy story, I have a full breakdown of all the lore, everything we know so far about the story. I'll include it here on the right side of your screen. As always, thank you all so much for watching. I'll talk to you again soon.